Greetings, humans! I am Kreitar, an older brother of Ashtar, and it's my second appearance to humankind. I am going to speak on behalf of your galactic brothers and sisters. My direct responsibilities are being a galactic commander to overlook our operations with other civilizations in need in other parts of the cosmos. I am here to unveil another piece of truth to humanity. We are aware that unexplained phenomena make everyone to be curious and at the same time anxious. As usual, your negative governments are not much of help, as they never disclose the complete truth. Now, I am going to reveal the truth about the event that has been happening almost for a month now. The drones, or supposedly spaceships in the sky at night flying, mainly in New Jersey, United States. It's not galactic spacecrafts, and it has nothing to do with us at all. We do not use primitive technology like drones. It was not any fake, staged, or real invasion by the dark forces. It's not going to be allowed, and the Galactic Light Forces fleet would stop it and not let them appear or come close to your planet. It's also not drones from foreign countries like Iran, Russia, China, and ACT. First, they would not be so obvious about it by having drones so easily visible in the sky. They would not need for them to keep appearing in the same area for almost a month now to collect surveillance intelligence. The countries like Russia, China, and Iran would not use drones. They have satellites in space, which means they can see anything on this planet, so they already know all of the military sites in the United States, even their facilities underground. These days on your planet with satellite technology, you can't really hide anything from any country that has satellites in outer space. Also, the American military would have eliminated these drones if they were foreign spy drones, as they were flying near their military bases. They do not need to use any weapons to take down the drones. They could just use electronic jammers to cut off the frequency connection between the controllers of the drones, and they would just fall to the ground. The American government could have also threatened the countries with military action if their drones would not leave the area. The United States dark government knew the whole time to whom these drones belonged to, as they have the technology to easily locate from where the drones were coming from. Recently, the American government finally revealed some information about the drones. They were not completely being truthful about it. So why did they disclose some details about it now? Because the dark ones started to look really foolish by pretending that they did not know anything, as everyone kept asking questions about the drones, and they were not getting any answers. The negative ones don't like to be seen as not being smart because of their big egos. Otherwise, they would not tell anything about the drones, as it was causing panic and fear in the human population in that location, which made the dark entities very happy. So what is the actual truth about these drones? Most of them were American military drones, with a few civilian drones who were just copying them. They were patrolling the area. So why New Jersey state of United States? They have a lot of dark ones there, military bases, and it's close to New York. The main and only reason they are surveying that location because of what occurred on November 21st of this year. The Ukraine war started as a result of darkness. The negative controllers wanted to use the Ukraine's territory to destroy Russia, as President Putin and his country refuses to serve darkness and to be defeated by it. That is on why the dark NATO, including American government, have been sending so much money and weapons to a non-NATO country like Ukraine, and it's not because they care about their independence or democracy. The negative ones will try to keep this war going until to the last Ukrainian in the country. The war would have been over just a few months after it started, but the dark human Boris Johnson, a former Prime Minister of United Kingdom, pressured Ukraine to end negotiations for peace with Russia in 2022, instead to continue fighting. The controllers of this planet have been trying very aggressively to start World War III with Russia. They have been very arrogant about it and crossed every line Russia said not to do, until President Putin reached his limit, after when America and Britain allowed for Ukraine to use ATACMS and Storm Shadow missile systems to be used to attack inside of Russia. The problem with that is Ukraine doesn't have the capability to do this on their own to use these missiles. They can only bring these systems to a location, but American and British soldiers must put satellites information in and select the targets themselves. Ukrainian soldiers are just pulling the trigger, and everything else is done by America and Britain. Basically, United States and England are directly attacking Russia through Ukraine. On November 19, Ukraine attacked inside of Russia with American ATACMS missiles, and on November 20 of this year, Ukraine again did the same thing with British Storm Shadow missiles. After that, President Putin retaliated and sent a strong message to the Dark Ones. Russia launched on November 21 of this year a nuclear-sized ballistic missile without nukes carrying 6 warheads called Oreshnik, which means hazel tree, at a military site in Ukraine. It's a hypersonic missile that can hit any target from 310 to 3,400 miles, and it can't be shot down by any defense missile system or jet as it's too fast, which means it's unstoppable. The missile hits any site at 10 times the speed of sound. This missile strike by Russia destroyed the negative one's confidences, and they became paranoid, especially from United States. This is on why these military drones were patrolling the skies mainly in New Jersey's and some other states in America, like Maryland, New York, Delaware, Florida, and even in California. It's the same reason drones have been appearing near military sites in different parts of the world, like in Ramstein, Germany, Lakenheath, Mildenhall, and Feltwell in the United Kingdom near American military bases. The military drones are being launched and operated from the same bases by USA. The dark entities are afraid that President Putin is going to attack them with Oreshnik missiles at night. The reason they believe it would be at nighttime because that's its best time to attack anyone with any type of missile, as it's hard to see it and defend against it. What they are doing with drones is pointless. If the Oreshnik missile is launched at them, it can't be stopped. Our galactic direct warning to the darkness: immediately stop all of the military operations around the world and sign peace treaties with every country which is involved in any conflict. You can't win against the light, especially now when Divine got involved in the transformation process into a new 5D Earth. You are just spinning your wheel now by trying to fool the human civilization that you really care at all about them and this planet. The humankind doesn't believe anymore the dark entities, on who are always only trying to harm others and destroy peaceful and harmonious coexistence between humans. The consequences are on the way for them. Thank you, Ambassador of Galactic Light Forces. Supreme love and peace to everyone on Mother Earth. Be alert around unfamiliar surroundings. Kreitar, channeled by Erena Velazquez, Ambassador of Galactic Light Forces.
Russia says it used a hypersonic missile during the Dnipro factory attack on November 21st, 2024. It's thought to be a variant of the RS-26 missile, Arun-Biash, a shortened version of the RS-24 Yars missile seen in this video. Capable of being ground-launched from a Transporter Erector Launcher, or TEL for short, the RS-26 is thought to have come from the Kasputin Yar training ground in the Astrakhan Oblast, a distance of 510 miles between launch site and the target. The US Department of Defense has confirmed it was not an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, downgrading it instead to an intermediate range ballistic missile, or IRBM. The missile was identified by President Putin as an Oreshnik, medium-range non-nuclear hypersonic ballistic missile. Hypersonic weapons are different. In 2018, the Russians claimed they had developed a hypersonic glide vehicle called Avangard, which they described as a gliding block. This sort of missile would be launched ballistically upwards, but then release the glide vehicle, which would skim the atmosphere on the edge of space. It can make turns to avoid high-altitude interceptor missiles. It's believed a version of the Avangard system can be carried on the RS-26 missile, which Oreshnik was developed from. In the videos of the missile strike in the Ukrainian city of Dnipro, you can see the missile has released 6 submunitions, which then release 6 smaller submunitions. A total of 36 separate impacts are the result. They also appear to be glowing, possibly from the heat of atmospheric entry, which would have taken less than half a minute to reach the ground from space. It's possible these munitions contain no explosive and were pure kinetic energy weapons. The energy delivered by projectiles traveling at Mach 10 or 7,000 miles per hour would be very high. The target was the PA-15 factory in Dnipro. It makes rocket motors.
Right over the library. They're just pacing back and forth, going very slow.
This is a video of the Morris County drones with characteristic triangle lights on the back or underneath.
What is that? What?
That I find it very difficult to believe our government doesn't really know anything about this, but frankly, from what I've seen in the drone industry, it's entirely plausible.
The drones go much greater distances. These, again, are something that we normally don't see in the United States.